Call this meeting of the Cartersville City Council to order. We'll start with an invocation and a pledge. If you'll please stand with me.
Let us pray. Lord, you call us to live in this wonderful place, in this community where people care and seek to do that vision which brings the good life for all of us. Give wisdom to this council, that we may serve those who have elected us, and that we may bring honor and glory to your name. For it is in your name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Keeling, please call the roll.
Carrie Hodge, Ward 1. Jay Stepp, Ward 2. Louis Tonsmeyer, Ward 3.
Here.
Lindsay McDaniel, Ward 4. Diane Tate, Ward 5.
Here.
Lori Pruitt, Ward 6.
Here.
It's a little bit of an echo up here with so many people out, but that's okay. We have got the first order of business, and we'll have the approval of the council meeting minutes from our March 15th meeting. Council's had these well in advance of tonight. The chair will entertain any additions, changes, corrections, or motions. Don't be shy.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And I say aye as well, because I've got to vote on everything tonight. So I'm in agreement with the minutes. One down. We have a public hearing, second reading of a zoning request. Mr. Menino, if you'll get us started.
Thank you again, Mayor. As you know, this is a second reading. There have been no additions or changes since the first reading. Planning Commission did recommend approval of this application with a condition on it as recommended by the fire department.
Okay. Any questions for Randy at this point?
Mr. Menino, I have a question. You may have answered this last meeting, but I missed it. I think in reading this, it is now two separate parcels. Will those be brought under one electric, one? Is that how this is going to be used? Do you know?
It was not two separate parcels.
Is it not? Did I read that incorrectly? Okay. But it's just the condition with the fire department.
That is correct.
Okay, it's only the one condition.
It's a relocation of a FDC connection.
You good?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'll open up the public hearing involving file Z12-01. Anybody wishing to step forward and speak either for or against may do so at this time. And if you would, please, sir, your name and address for our clerk.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Lee Perkins, 162 West Main Street, Suite 303 here in Cartersville, and I am here representing the applicant, who is Steve Cowart. And Diane, just to address you'd asked about the separate, what that was years ago, this parcel did have some frontage over on Old Mill Road. And where the fire connections are now, that's where on the back of this building, they access them from that side. So the fire department has now said they can't get to them because it's no longer that way. That parcel's been sold off and there's a fence back there. And so we're having to move them to the front of this building. And my client is fine with that condition that the fire department has put in. He's already met with the fire department about where to place it when they have that done. So that's what that was. We're just here asking that you go along with the recommendation of the Planning Commission. If you have any further questions of us that weren't answered at the last meeting, we'll be glad to answer them. My client and I are both here, and that's it. Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you, Lee. All right, this is a public hearing. Anybody wishing to step forward, speak for or against, may do so at this time. And seeing none, I'll close the public hearing for case Z12-01. And the chair will entertain any further discussion or questions. And if there are none of either of those to be had, I'll entertain any motions.
Motion to approve with the conditions stated by the fire department.
Second.
Okay. Got a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Mr. Archer, can I make motions too and second them, or can I only vote?
You can do whatever you want to do. You're the man. I told you.
I need you to tell
No,
me
what's
tell
the
me that
charter?
at least once a meeting.
What the charter says is that the mayor can vote in case of a tie or when it is necessary for a motion to carry. So when you have 7 members and you only have 4 here, a quorum being 4, so on every one of these votes, you're gonna have to vote. But you can also make a motion if you want to, and I'll make a note of that. Mayor can make motion.
Thank you. Next item is the second reading of an ordinance. Chief Culpepper.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. This is an amendment to the traffic ordinance. It's really a housekeeping issue. It just clears up the no left turn from the old post office that's located on Church Street that's now occupied by an attorney. That no left turn is no longer needed there. The signs have long since been removed. It needs to be cleared up in the ordinance.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions for Chief on this? Thank you, sir. Any discussion? And if not, Chair will entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'm going to take your motion, and I'm going to take a second there. And all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Mr. Menino, you've got the next item. Please, sir.
Yes, thank you again. 2 more of our homeowners from the first-time homeowners program have completed their application with the down payment assistance program. And with that, in order for them to have clear title to their homes, it is necessary for you to approve the agreement as included in your package. And again, this is standard procedure.
Thank you. Chair will make a motion to approve.
And I'll second it.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Just thought I could move this thing along real quick. Transfer, next item.
Sure. It's transfer properties to the Habitat for Humanity. Council and Mayor, as you know, we purchased 2 properties, one at 23 Fairview Street and one at 45 Douglas Street, and have demolished those properties. We are now ready to use the supplemental CDBG money that we got in 2009 to put them back. In order to do that, we need 2 things. One, the council will transfer the properties to Habitat for Humanity, and 2, for you to approve a construction loan from the source of funds for $75,712 each.
Okay.
And I recommend that you do both.
Thank you, sir. The, any discussion or questions? If not, the item is called.
Motion for both of these aspects, both the completion of the agreement by the person who's purchasing and what we need to do to transfer title to Habitat.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Chief.
Mayor and Council, tonight I bring before you a final working agreement between the City of Cartersville and Bartow County government for the operations and maintenance of the joint training facility that was jointly constructed between the 2 entities at 180 Pegamine Road. This agreement has been reviewed by all legal staff on both sides. Chief Millsap and myself have signed off on this agreement. This agreement is actually modeled after a current agreement that we have with the firing range and the location of that property. I went before Commissioner Clarence Brown on March the 7th, 2012, and he approved it at that time. And now we're formally asking for your approval and signature on this operational agreement of the joint training facility.
Okay. Any questions for Chief on this?
Question. Chief, I meant to ask you this earlier. Is this just used by Cartersville and Bartow County, other cities? Do we ever have an opportunity to lease this?
Not at this time, we do not. And the reason for that is that we're just really completing now the first full operation period there for that complex. So therefore, really what to charge, what's a viable charge, how much the utilities running, that kind of thing. We've really got to study it for the next year and a half. And we need to get used to the facility because we, in clean conscience, I cannot lease out a burn building if I don't know how that burn building is going to react. We have had discussions about this, but at this point in time, we were just not ready to go down that road, and we do need to get some form of formal agreement done now, primarily for liability reasons and insurance.
You'd bring that back as an amendment to this, though?
We will be
Okay.
bringing that back, as we move forward and we get more comfortable with the complex ourselves.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? And if not,
Make a,
Go ahead, I'll second.
make a motion to approve the agreement between Bartow County and the training facility.
And I will indeed second it.
all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next item.
One of the key points of the fire department's strategic plan back several years ago was to establish a process to where firefighters could actually be live in the field and access back things such as their GIS, weather, and getting to the pre-incident planning for if we have an emergency, we can actually take while we're en route to the call, look at the plot, the layout of the buildings, any hazardous materials on site. And we've been kind of behind the 8 ball for several years as far as the industry is concerned. With the new construction going on with the headquarters station and the addition of the 4th station on MLK, it came to a point that our software system was going to have to be expanded. And we're needing to go into a web-based version of the Firehouse software. The Firehouse software for the fire department basically runs everything we do. And currently, according to our IT staff, it's the 2nd busiest software package in all of the city as far as the usage is concerned. So we've worked with the IT staff now for the past 3 years to develop a project which we're bringing before you tonight. This project would change over our current software version to a Firehouse web-based version, and also add in a component that will allow the firefighters to be live out in the field and access during an actual emergency, being able to look back at specific information. Another side component of this too is we're hoping to enhance our customer service that we deliver with the inspectors, because they're actually going to be able to access information live at the point of contact when they're dealing with the customer, be able to hand them their inspection report right there at that point in time instead of having to come back, send it back. So we feel it's going to be a more efficient use of man hours. The cost of this particular project, which is a budgeted item, is $45,359.89. This is a single source project that could not be bid out because of the fact that we are already so deep in with the Firehouse software, which is the #1 software program for the fire service. And the IT staff will also decide the particular carrier that we'll use for connectivity between the station and out into the field. So that will be turned over to the IT staff based on our current vendor load. We just respectfully request your approval for this project. Once again, this is a budget item. All E-Verify and documents are on file.
Any questions for Chief on this item?
Just one quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a plan in place to back up the data off the web so that you can access it in case there is some sort of issue with this particular provider?
Yes, ma'am. The system is built double redundancy, so we have 2 ways of access into the system.
Great.
Chief, I have a question. In our notes, it said that this project has been looked at for 3 years between the fire department
We have
and
studied-
our IT people.
Yes, ma'am, we have studied this project extensively. We have dealt with fire departments in Washington State. We've researched St. Louis, Missouri, even as close back as Dawson County, who has done something very similar to this. And we've looked at what they've been doing over the past several years for this exact type thing. And we feel that we've come together with some really good answers of what we feel will work.
So it meshes with, and our IT people would understand it enough to be able to.
Our IT people have been involved since day one. They were actually on a piece of the working committee that we had to design this particular project. We didn't want to design something and then go to them. We brought them at the very forefront and we said, okay, what do we need to make this work?
Very good. Any other questions?
Make a motion to approve?
I'll second it. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Keep you guessing.
That was quick.
You want my vote?
Yeah.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Motion carries. I won't do that again now that I've made a motion in a second. Chief, next item.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. This last item for the fire department, this is dealing with the construction for the new headquarters located on Cassville Road. This is a particular piece of equipment that is designed into the station, and what this is a protective gear washer, what we call an extractor. The simplest way to explain it is a very large industrial washing machine that is designed specifically for turnout protective clothing. This is for the new station. We have 3 bids on this project. The low bid of Tri-State of $9,895, the high bid of $13,970. Tri-State currently provides a 100-pound unit that we have in operation at station number 3. This will be a 60-pound unit, a smaller unit, located at the new headquarters station. We have vetted all of their warranties to make sure everything is correct. We're familiar with this piece of equipment. It has a good track record, and we would respectfully request approval for $9,895 for the new extractor for headquarters.
Okay. Any discussion on this item?
Chief, you only use this when there's a fire? I mean, this is to take contaminants out of the uniforms when they're...
Not the uniforms.
Not the uniforms.
The firefighting equipment that they would wear, the heavy, the bunker coats, the turnout coats, the Nomex hoods, the gloves, and primarily fire, yes ma'am, but also any other type of exposure that we can safely do with this form of decontamination. We're required by NFPA to wash all of the gear twice a year anyway, whether it's been exposed or not. So that's one of the primary requirements, and it's a huge enhancement on the health and safety of the firefighters.
Sure. And what's the life of a machine like this?
Probably about 15 years. The one that we have located at Station 3, we purchased that unit 8 years ago, and we have had no issues, none whatsoever, with that unit at all.
I guess my point is, it isn't used every day.
No, ma'am, not every day, but it is used every week.
Every week. So the life of it can be extended.
And plus, with the addition now of this smaller unit that's been designed into headquarters, that's going to take a workload off of the other unit, which is already 8 years of age. We're also looking at decreased fuel costs because now all of the turnout gear that we have has to be transported all the way to one end of the city. But now by us having 2 gear washers at 2 different locations, we're looking down at our transport time. And the headquarters station is designed as a quartermaster type station where all reserve gear is kept. So that's one of the purposes for this in the design of that particular building.
Okay. Any other questions? Chair will entertain a motion.
I'll offer the motion if you'll do the second.
I'm not doing the second. I told you I wouldn't do it anymore.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
All right, Ed, you got the next 4.
Mayor, Council, the first item is the Puckett Street sewer replacement. The Water Department has designed a project for transferring sewer services on the existing deteriorated sewer on Puckett Street over to the newer sewer, and it will allow us to abandon the older sewer. Bids were received from 3 contractors to construct this sewer system improvement. Hill City On-Site submitted a bid of $22,400. TJ Lyle and Company submitted a bid of $35,980. C&L Contractors submitted a bid of $36,780. The Water Department recommends award of the contract to the low bidder, Hill City On-Site of Jasper, Georgia, in the amount of $22,400. This will be paid for from the budget item for maintenance and repair of sewers. E-Verify and Save documentation was submitted with the bid.
Make a motion to approve the low bid from the Hill City On-Site.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Continue on, please.
Next item is purchase of transformer for the water treatment plant. The transformer for the number 2 high service pump was recently destroyed by lightning. This is the same transformer that was destroyed during the fall of 2011 tornado. We had an electrical tester come in, and he was able to determine that a vacuum tube on the electrical breaker had failed, and that was what was allowing lightning to come into the transformer. Replacement transformer bids were received from CES in the amount of $12,675.82 and Myers Electric Company in the amount of $13,189.19. We recommend purchase of the replacement transformer from CES for $12,675.82. This will be paid for from the maintenance budget. E-Verify and Save documentation has been submitted.
Okay, any questions on this item?
Approval of the bid from CES.
Second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
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 Okay, the next item is the sewer line serving Atco Village was recently replaced from Pettit Creek to Goodyear Avenue. This project was designed to complete that tie-in. When we got to Goodyear Avenue, we found some problems with the existing sewers. There was a sag in it and some cracked sections of pipe. This project was designed to replace those sections. Bids were received from 4 contractors to construct these improvements. Hill City On-Site submitted a bid of $24,950. TJ Lyle and Company submitted a bid of $28,950. CNL Contractors submitted a bid of $33,333.33. CH Kirkpatrick Construction Company submitted a bid of $36,043.75. We recommend award of the contract to the low bidder, Hill City On-Site of Jasper, Georgia, in the amount of $24,950. This work will be paid for from the budget item. For maintenance and repair of sewers, E-Verify and Save documentation has been submitted.
Okay, questions? If not, motions.
Make a motion to approve the purchase and bid and purchase from Hill City On-Site.
Second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next item, please.
The next item is the Martin Luther King Jr. Drive Sewer Replacement Pipe Bursting Project. The section of sewer pipe on Martin Luther King Drive between Tennessee Street and Ford Streets in deteriorated condition. We have designed a project to replace this by pipe bursting so that we should minimize the amount of pavement cutting that has to be done. Bids were received from 3 contractors to construct these improvements. TJ Lyle and Company submitted a bid of $35,664.80. Hill City On-Site submitted a bid of $46,450. CNL Contractors submitted a bid of $56,150. The Water Department recommends award of the contract to TJ Lyle and Company of Taylorsville, Georgia, in the amount of $35,664.80. This project will be paid for from the budget item for maintenance and repair of sewers. E-Verify and Save documentation has been submitted.
Okay. Any questions?
What is pipe bursting?
It's where they insert this pneumatic ram inside the pipe, and it goes through and works its way through, expands the pipe, and pulls in a polyethylene pipe behind it. And this is an 8-inch sewer that's out in the street. It's a clay pipe. Probably dates back to the 20s, 30s. We'll be pulling in a 10-inch pipe to replace it, so it'll give us more capacity. It'll cut down on the amount of rainwater that's seeping in and all of that. So,
You don't have to dig, or very little digging.
pardon?
You don't have to dig much.
No, it shouldn't.
Just kind of.
That way we're not digging up this whole main line of sewer between the 2 points.
Very good. All right. Any other questions? And if not, any motions?
A motion to approve the bid from TJ Lyle and Company.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you. 4 ayes. Thank you, Ed. The last regularly scheduled item on our agenda is a resolution. Mr. Archer.
Yeah, this is a proposed resolution to approve a partial settlement agreement in a lawsuit that the city of Cartersville is involved in with 18 other cities and counties as a class action lawsuit against the various internet travel booking companies. The allegations in the lawsuit are that they are charging one amount, a higher amount, and paying hotel motel tax on a lower amount. Difference in retail and wholesale. The lawsuit alleges that they should be paying it on the retail instead of the wholesale. We have been litigating this since 2005. We have entered into a partial settlement agreement subject to the approval of the court and approval of each of the cities and counties involved at this point, and that's 19 of us. The part of the lawsuit that is being settled is the travel agent companies have agreed to pay the increased amount going forward from May the 11th of last year. And though that money will be paid to a court-appointed person from the federal court that has the case in its jurisdiction, and that money will be distributed based upon each city and county's submissions to the entitlement, and that will go forward. What is not being settled is going backwards. They're saying, the travel companies are saying that they should not have had to pay that in the past. You can go back 7 years and collect back taxes. We're saying that they should have paid it. Now, the back part will be much more than what we will see in the near future. But that is subject to pending motions before the court to make a determination as to whether or not they grant a motion for summary judgment that we filed or one that they filed or neither, and then we'd go to trial. The city, as a named plaintiff in this lawsuit with the other named plaintiffs, will receive immediate compensation in the amount of $2,500, same as each of the 19 plaintiffs are getting. And I would ask that you approve the resolution giving the mayor and the city clerk authority to approve this so I can submit it to the court.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Archer on this item? And if there are none, the chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve this resolution.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye. 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 We do have 2 items to add. Chair will entertain a motion to add those 2 items to the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, 2 items are on. First one,
This is a interconnection power exchange agreement between the city of Cartersville and Aquafil USA. You want to explain it, Don?
Mayor and Council, we appreciate you hearing this. We bring forth a contract that's going to allow interconnection and power exchange agreement between Aquafil USA and the city of Cartersville. And this agreement will outline the conditions that Aquafil needs to connect the new solar generation system that they've recently installed. And they're hoping to put this system in place next week to take advantage of some government grants and some conditions of the deadlines associated with the government grants. But this agreement, all it does is set forth guidelines, you know, to be able to for them to interconnect to the electrical grid. And, you know, there's safety features and metering requirements that need to be set forth and agreed upon. And that's basically the agreement.
Do you know if Aquafil is planning a significant solar power generation with what they have in mind?
This unit is about 400 kW, and they use considerably more than that at the plant. It's our understanding that this will be used to offset some of what they use, but this agreement also, in the event they wish to and we wish to buy from them, is sort of a generation that they can generate back to us.
Is this the first company that we've
Yes.
set up a
Yes.
solar exchange?
Right. And I believe you'll probably see more of it in the coming future as the technology develops. And it gives them a leg up on green energy, and it's a marketing tool for them also.
absolutely. Okay, any other questions? Chair will entertain a motion.
Move approval of the 2 contracts and authorize the mayor to sign them.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Don. And you got the last item?
Sure. This is time sensitive like the one Don had too. I think they need to submit this mid-month. It's from the local homeless shelter. It's a local government approval for an application for $25,000 from the DCA. And it simply needs local government approval as part of the grant process, and I recommend you approve it.
Okay, pretty straightforward. Anybody care to make a motion or have any questions on that?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And I do too. So that means we're through all the business. Anybody else come before council with something to add this evening?
Well, Greg's not back there, but he did want me to remind you.
Got
got
my
that
note
one?
there. Mountain hike tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. Or no, it's April the 6th. What time are they leaving?
April 6th departs at 8:15 from the
8:15.
west trailhead. He said the azaleas are in bloom and the mountain laurel are starting to pop. Not that you'd be able to see them in the dark, but
I know we have a few folks that are here, even though they're on Easter break or spring break. I'd like them to come up and give about a 2-minute presentation on what they learned tonight.
He's just kidding.
We'll pass that. I'm ready to go. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We're adjourned. You can get harumph out of that guy.
that's right. I didn't get